Broadcasting. Ooh, we have 4, 2, 4, 6, 7. Hello. Can they see us?
Hello, hello, hello. Yes, they can see us.
Very nice. Very exciting.
We'll give it a minute or so to let everybody get on.
Oh,
Awesome.
I see Judy. Hi, Judy.
Great. Awesome, great. And yes, do you want to call attention? I'll talk about it in a minute to the chat box and the Q&A part. That's where you can all kind of communicate to each other. Thank you all. So good to see your names.
The access code is 960202, correct?
Let me look. It is. If anybody else is having problems too, the access code is, let's see, 960202, correct. Okay. So, oh, hello. Hi, everybody. I'm glad to hear that, Audrey. Thank you. Sorry, just trying to help some people get on really quick. But I think we've got most people on. Some people might join as we keep going. The number keeps going up, but don't want to waste too much time. So we'll go ahead and get started. For one, just wanted to say thank you all so much for joining today. For those who might not know me, my name is Gabriella Trevino. I'm the Development Associate here at Pathlight Home. We have some great company today. I'm joined by our executive leadership team. So we've got Helaine Blum, if you want to kind of wave really quick, Helaine. Helaine is our CEO at the moment, and she also actually co-founded Pathlight Home alongside Reverend Fred Maxwell. So she's been around with us for over 28 years. And then also with us is Babette Allen. Say hello. Babette is our current president. Fantastic. She has been with us for over 13 years, helping us change lives, making a difference. And even before Pathlight Home, Babette has actually been serving those in need for over 20 years. So, like I said, really great company here. This year has obviously come with a lot of changes for us all. We haven't been able to have a welcome home visit in a very long time. So we thought we would do so virtually. This way we're able to have more people. We're able to show both properties. And a lot has actually changed here as of late. And so we're kind of excited for those of you that know us to share what's different and what's going on here. And for those of you that are new, to kind of share our mission with you today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share our pre-recorded tour of both of our properties, and then after we'll do a quick Q&A with Helaine and Babette. I see most of you have kind of discovered the chat option there, so you can send your questions there. You can send it via the Q&A at the bottom. So either way, you're welcome to send it during the video, after the video, doesn't matter. We'll make sure to try to get to them all after. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for the video. We all know technology and Zoom is, has its fun time. So if there's any issues, feel free to throw that in the chat box. I've got both of my screens available to keep up to date if there's any problems.
Hi, my name's Helaine Blum, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Pathlight Home. We started way back in 1991 And at that time we were known as Grand Avenue Economic Community Development Corporation. We came about as I started working at Legal Aid Society, trying to create a homeless advocacy project for our community. And as I was working, I realized that no matter what I did as an attorney to help homeless people without a home, they were still homeless. They were still on the street. About that time, I saw a newspaper article where a local minister was looking to try to house persons who were homeless. He was 85 years old. His name was Reverend Fred Maxwell. I wrote him a letter when I read it in the newspaper and said, if you ever need any help, please let me know. Reverend Maxwell called me the next day after he got the letter, and we got together and talked about his vision and what I was trying to do. And he said to me, Attorney Blum, I'll do the praying, you do the work. And I said, Reverend Maxwell, let's do this. And off we went. And from that time in 1992, we incorporated this organization, and we started to look for a housing opportunity. Later that fall, there was an announcement by Department of HUD that they were doing an SRO mod rehab grant program. We asked in the community, all the people who were doing work, if anybody would want to apply for it, and nobody was willing. So we decided that we would take a shot at trying to make something happen. Had no experience doing any of this, just a willing desire and Reverend Maxwell's dream. And so we applied. And about 8 months later, we were awarded a grant, $4.8 million, to create 100 units of housing for homeless people in our community. We had a hotel that we found. It was operating, but it just so happened that the back section of the hotel was not being used. And so we were able to get an agreement with the hotel to take that back section. It just so happened, as we call it, as Reverend Maxwell called it, God ordained, that the back section of the hotel sat on its own boundaries. So we could divide it off from the hotel with no problem. And from that, we created 75 units of housing for homeless persons. And that housing was put into, started in October of 1996. It filled up immediately, all 75 units, in a very short period of time, and was so successful that we were able to take the remaining 25 units and leverage that into a second phase and add another 127 units, so that by 1998, there were 202 units of housing for chronically homeless people in our community using the Housing First plan.
Good morning and welcome to Pathlight Home. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of Maxwell Terrace Apartments. This is the Maxwell Terrace lobby. This is where those who aren't able to enter into our permanent supportive housing program can come in and apply to one of our non-program units. Our ultimate goal for all of our residents is self-sufficiency. For that reason, our residents pay a low rent as well as sign a lease, both of which happen here as well. Now here are the units themselves. We actually have 338 here at Maxwell Terrace. All of our properties are all remodeled motels, so this actually used to be a Hilton. All of our residents have access to their own living space, bedroom kind of area, as well as their own bathroom. And then we have some shared spaces available, including a laundry room and kitchen. At this property, we also have a permanent supportive housing program that we call the Restore program. The Restore program specifically supports those that are chronically homeless. So what that means is that they have been homeless for either a year straight or 4 episodes within 1 year. These residents come in with no income at all and enter through the coordinated entry system that we do with the Homeless Services Network of Central Florida. Our Restore case managers have their offices over here within the apartments in order to be closer to the residents. They offer additional support services that allow our residents to reach self-sufficiency. In addition to case management, Restore has a calendar of events meant to improve quality of life. Some of the events that we have include Get Healthy with Audrey, which offers tips and tricks on how to have a healthy lifestyle. We also have Birthdays and Bingo, which offers an opportunity for community and celebration, and that all occurs here in the community room. Currently, in an effort to support social distancing guidelines, we actually host Restore activities in the Pathlight Kitchen Banquet Hall to allow for more space. This here is the Pathlight Kitchen Banquet Hall. Here is where we host all of our internal programming. In addition, this is also open to the public for rent if you ever have an event you'd like to host here. All of the income that we get from the rent then comes back to support our programs. Also in Pathlight Kitchen are 4 commercial kitchens of various sizes. Just like our banquet hall, these are open to the public for rent, for catering companies, events, whatever it may be. Again, all of the income that we get from the rent comes back to support our programs as well. Lastly, in Pathlight Kitchen is our culinary training program. This is a program that we developed for both the residents and the community, again, to offer different skills for the workforce. We actually have a classically trained chef that leads the program. It is 12 weeks long. The first 6 weeks, sometimes less depending on the class, is used to teach different life skills and kitchen skills so that they're prepared to enter the kitchen. That way, the last 6 weeks, they're able to be here in the kitchen and they know everything they need to know in advance. Upon completion of the program, they get 3 certificates. They get a completion certificate for the culinary program in general, allergen serve safe, and a food handlers. Again, these are all meant to help them be successful in the food and beverage industry. Lastly, our newest addition is the Pathlight Home Resource Center. With COVID-19 causing a ripple effect of job loss, food insecurity, amongst other issues, we saw a need for services and decided to fill that gap with our new center. Primarily in our Resource Center, we house our Employment Center. Here we offer services to both our residents as well as the greater community. When people first walk in, they'll be greeted by our employment counselor. From there, our employment counselor and employment manager will work one-on-one with the person to diagnose what their needs are in order to help them secure employment. Some of the services we offer are resume and cover letter help, computer access, application help, phone access, training seminars, and more. This is our training room, and here we host weekly seminars on professionalism and other skills needed for the workforce. We are so happy to be able to name this room after one of our founders, Reverend Fred Maxwell. Also in the Resource Center is Restore Community Services. It sounds very similar to Restore, but it's not quite the same. What we do with community services is provide voluntary case management for those who aren't in one of our permanent supportive housing programs. So any resident or someone in the community is welcome to come in here, see our case managers, and get the very same support services. Over here is our Pathlight Home Marketplace. This is an area where our residents can shop at no cost to them for different household items. Some of the things that you can find in here are kitchenware, bedding, clothing, and hygiene products. And this is also currently entirely supported by our donors who provide both new and gently used items. This is first prioritized for new move-ins who may have not lived under a roof for a very long time. After that, it's open to the entire community every month. While most of our Resource Center is up and running, there's plenty of room for improvement. We're excited to be able to share some new additions very soon. Hello and welcome to Maxwell Garden. This is our second property at Pathlight Home, and at this location we have 240 units. Just like Maxwell Terrace, this is a remodeled motel. This one used to be a Holiday Inn. Also, just like Maxwell Terrace, all of the residents have their own living spaces with a bedroom and bathroom and community laundry and kitchen areas. At this location, we have our other 2 permanent supportive housing programs as well as SOBICs. So I'm going to take you and show you really quick. One of our 2 permanent supportive housing programs here at Maxwell Garden is Homes for New Beginnings. This program is very similar to Restore in that it serves those that are chronically homeless, they get case management services, and they have a monthly calendar of programs that they participate in here. Our other program on property is Safe Haven. Safe Haven serves those that are chronically homeless and have no income. Safe Haven looks a little different from some of our other programs because these residents often require extra support. In comparison, Safe Haven residents have their own living space but actually share a bathroom, kitchen area, and recreational area. In addition, Safe Haven has 24/7 security and is fed a really nice meal by SOBICs twice a week. Safe Haven and Homes for New Beginnings are just like Restore, where they come in through the coordinated entry system through the Homeless Services Network of Central Florida. And this is SOBIC Subs at Maxwell Garden. We actually own this location where we offer subs, pizza, and a limited Starbucks menu. Just like Pathlight Kitchen, all the income that we make here comes back to support our programs. So this is a great way to support Pathlight Home by choosing to pick up your lunch here. We also have SOBICs on Uber Eats and DoorDash. Okay. So that is Maxwell Terrace and Maxwell Garden. As you can see, we're still up and running and expanding despite the circumstances. We're very lucky to have individual offices, glass partitions, and large spaces so that social distancing is very easy. While we can't have y'all in person, we're so glad that you came and joined us to watch our virtual tour and hope to see you in person soon. Thank you so much for watching.
My name is Babette Allen, and I'm the president of Pathlight Home. Before I mention our future endeavors, I'd like to first thank you so much for your support, because without you, we could not have done anything in our past, what we're currently doing, and what we plan to do in our future. Some of the things that we're looking forward to doing in the future is expanding our housing to include families. We really want to broaden our horizon in that area. Also, we'd like to expand our property management division, where we can offer the same services that we do within our communities to you and your community. So thank you very much. Sign up for our newsletter so you can stay informed, become a champion, Pathlight champion. We really need your support. Thank you again. We really appreciate you.
Okay. So that is Pathlight Home. Quickly, of course. With 28 years in our past, obviously there's quite a lot to us, but that kind of gives the gist of it. So I guess now we'll kind of open it up to any follow-up questions you have. Thanks, Liz. Whether it can be about, our properties, it could be about residents, our programs, how you can get involved. Truly nothing is off limits, I don't think. I know we have one already, but again, feel free to type them in the chat box. You can send them via the actual Q&A option here in the center. So kind of by where your mute button and other things are. Okay, so I've got a couple here. Oh, we got a few here. Okay, so let's start with Lisa. More info on rental costs and eligibility for entrance, please. Babette, do you want to start with that one?
Sure. So our residents come into our coordinated entry through the Homeless Service Network, which is a partner of ours. And we're going to actually put that information up so you all can see exactly where they come, how they can access those entry points throughout Central Florida. So once they come into our programs, then if they're being referred for Safe Haven, then they go through the Safe Haven entry process, Homes for New Beginnings, as well as Restore. Residents can also just come in and apply. You have to be homeless. They come in and complete an application. We verify their homelessness and certify their eligibility, and then we move them in.
So to share what Babette was talking about, these are the hubs, correct, Babette?
Yes.
So as she was saying, those that are chronically homeless can go to these hubs to kind of get connected. Do you kind of want to, are you able to share a little bit more kind of about that Thursday meeting? I know it probably looks a little different now, but I was able to go to one, kind of how we work with other organizations too to have them placed.
So the Homeless Services Network, they have a bi-weekly meeting. It's coordinated entry, where they have a registry of persons who are chronically homeless and homeless on the registry, and that's how they're placed through different agencies within Central Florida. And how those persons are placed on the registry is through the hubs that are listed on the screen. So if you're homeless or you know someone that's homeless, they can go and register within one of these hubs. They have a team that will work with them, declare their homelessness, and place them on the registry if they're eligible. Then that agency filters and feeds different programs like Pathlight Home.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a best fit situation.
So we have a question from the director of 2 Advent Health Emergency Rooms saying that they have quite a few homeless that they see and are wondering how they can refer people to us. So we have the hubs, but is there any other way they can refer people to us?
Yes, they can send them directly to our offices to apply. Mm-hmm.
And I think there was also a question about the rent, what we charge. There were a couple that was in the original question, and also several other questions. So we want to know how much people pay for rent.
Yeah, so are you okay answering that one also?
Sure, no problem. So
She's
the
good
rent,
at that.
the rent is determined. Okay, so you have to meet our income eligibility. So you have 3 different types of persons that are income levels. You have extremely low, low, and very low. So if you meet below the 80% income guidelines coming into our property, then your rent's $525 a month, and we subsidize the difference within our organization. So it's $525 per month with that subsidy. and it includes all utilities, and we also have community kitchen. I don't know if we showed that in the video, but we have community kitchens throughout both locations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it kind of can vary greatly with the basic number being 525, but it varies on your scenario. And how I talked about in the video with people coming into Safe Haven particularly, they always come in with no income, actually. So I believe that that's something to work towards, correct?
Yes, persons that enter Safe Haven as well as Restore can come in with 0 income, and the case management team will work with them in obtaining income. And then once they receive it, they'll begin paying 30% of their income towards rent.
Exactly. Now this next question says, what are the needs of behavioral health support of the residents? I don't know, Helaine, do you have any thoughts on that, or we could start with
Well,
that
for
otherwise?
chronically homeless residents, we have support teams. We have case management. We have a nurse case manager that oversees all of that. We also provide mental health counselor, which the city of Orlando has assisted in helping to fund us. So we have that service available for people who are facing particular needs. We also do referrals into our case managers do referrals into the community to mental health groups and substance abuse groups. We're very connected to the community, make sure that we can access what we can get, because obviously we can't provide it all ourselves. We also have been fortunate to receive funding from the city and the county for community support specialists who can assist persons who are not in the programs with their behavioral health needs in terms of connecting them into community to services. They can also help with budgeting, connection with benefits, and any other, making sure they stay in housing. That's our primary purpose, is to make sure that people that were homeless stay in housing and don't become homeless again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because as I'm sure this person that asked the question understood, that a lot of times plays a role in how people end up homeless. So it kind of comes full circle into our goal of fully supporting our residents to, like Helaine said, keep them housed. The roof is step one, but there's a little bit more that comes after that. Babette, did you have anything to add to that before I go to the next question?
No, that was great.
Okay. Okay, first of all, thank you. It says, I'm amazed at how huge Pathlight is. We've, as Helaine kind of mentioned at the beginning part, we've grown a bit. We started with 72 units, was it? 75? And
Started with 75 units, that's correct.
And I think we're at 542 or something like that. So we've
538.
grown a bit.
Yep.
Thank you. Or 538, excuse me. It says, how long do you have to be a resident, and what should your income be? So I know, Babette, you kind of talked about the income a little bit. Do you want to talk a little bit about what length kind of looks like for our residents?
Well, we sign 12-month leases with all our residents as well as our program participants, so they can, and it's permanent housing, so they can stay here as long as they want, and we can continue to provide the services as long as they.
We've got some really good questions. Okay. It says, if you had $1 million, how would you use it? Helaine, can I direct that one first?
No, just kidding.
I think, yeah, that's ready to spend it. Let me tell you, she's good to go. Oh my goodness, we're looking to try to add another 240 units of housing in the next 3 years. So $1 million would go a long way toward making that happen. We have lots of we're trying to increase our social services to seniors. We found that over 25% of our formerly homeless residents are actually seniors, and that they have some specific needs. So we're looking to try to get funding for that. There's just so many things. We have our employment center, our resource center that we just opened by the help of the county, and it's been amazing. People are just coming in droves, and the need is so great, and certainly $1 million would help to expand that and get so many more people placed into employment. So there's lots of ways we could spend that.
Possibilities are endless. Would you kind of second all those things, Babette? Or we'd love $1 million if you all have any if anybody's willing, let us know.
We make a difference.
Yeah, you have
This
several
next,
questions in the chat too, so don't.
yes, I'm
Yeah,
coming to that in a second.
yeah,
This next
perfect.
question I'll actually answer. It says, what are ways that people can donate to Pathlight, and what is a Pathlight champion? Donations, there's many ways. For one, you could always go to our website. We have pathlightgives.org. You can donate any amount. Of course, anything is always accepted. And we actually have the ability for you to choose different areas you want to designate your funds to. So, for example, we have a transportation assistance fund, and so should you select that, then that would go towards us offering our residents, like we give them lift credits and different things like that, because a lot of them don't have cars and things like that to get to their doctor's appointments, these mental health appointments that we're talking about. So you can direct your funds in that way. You could always send a check via Facebook. There's many ways. You could always get in contact with me about that. And then we, of course, as I mentioned in the tour, accept in-kind donations, so donations of items, and that's thank you to everybody, the reason why our marketplace actually exists today. So to kind of go a little more in depth in that, we were getting a lot of donations of toaster ovens, plates, and things like that, which is amazing. And so we had set it up in a little conference room because we had so much that it had to go somewhere. And we're letting our residents shop it, and we saw that that was working really well. So now we have an official shop with shelvings, and we have volunteers that come in to help organize it and inventory, and it's a whole thing. So that's another way you can support us. We accept most things that you can find in your home. So next time you're cleaning your closet, your kitchen, anything like that, we just ask that it's gently used. We accept new also. You can go on our Amazon Smile wish list. Sorry, this answer is becoming kind of long. There's just so many ways. And then quickly on a champion, I actually should have the link open. I can kind of show really quick here. So Pathlight Champion is actually the ambassador program that we've started. And so this is just kind of a way we're trying to rack our brains for more ways to have people help at home. And we just really, I think, function on the idea that we're all doing this together. So how else can we kind of create this community of support? So we created the Pathlight Champion program. And so what you do, this is our Pathlight Champion website. You fill out this little form here. And what will happen is that every month you'll get an email that's separate from our newsletter. It's kind of a first look email. So, for example, champions would be the first to know that the marketplace is going to open anyway. And so we'll let you know what's coming. And you also have access to a Google Drive folder with pre-made graphics and written posts and things like that. So all you have to do is copy and paste, post it on your Facebook, post on your LinkedIn, whatever it may be, and just kind of help us get the mission out, because that's just another way that we kind of grow this community and we're able to continue doing what we do. Like I said, we've gone from 75 to 538, and we didn't do it alone. So that's what the path is. Under Get Involved, Pathlight Home Champion, and fill out the form here. And if you have any questions on that, you can always contact me. I'll be sure to, in a second, I'll type my contact information in the chat box over here. Let me get back to more questions. Let's see. Are we doing the culinary program right now? Babette, do you want to answer that question?
Well, due to COVID, we had to stop the culinary program in March. We had classes at the time, but due to social distancing, we had to stop that program, that particular class. What we've done in the meantime is we are offering culinary classes to our residents at a distance. I think the maximum we're having
I just answered, says, how can we get involved? What is the most needed item? Again, I'd say possibilities are endless. So it's, I know I talked a little bit about donating, being a champion. There obviously is volunteering also. We're just gearing up to kind of make it public. So this could be a first look if you're not a newsletter recipient, but we're just about to announce our Pathlight Seasons program, which is our new name for our overarching kind of holiday program. We feed our residents. We do different activities and things like that. And obviously it looks a little different. It's going to be a little bit more complex this year with not wanting to gather large crowds like we normally do. So volunteering is always an option. Also, for the most needed item, if we're talking about kind of marketplace things, I would say that recently our greatest needs have been bedding. People really, really want sheets. So twin size sheets, comforters, pillows, and also pots and pans. Pots and pans get asked for every single time. So I would say those are kind of the greatest needs. Anything that you two wanted to add to that? I think I kind of covered it.
No, that's great.
Okay.
Become a champion.
Yeah, become a champion. We would love to partner with you also.
Well,
Okay, this says, are you in the Orlando area? Are you in other parts of Florida or other states?
just the Orlando area at this time.
But maybe that's something else we would do with $1 million. I don't know. Would love to continue growing. I know that there's another question that somebody else had asked that's kind of connected because we are trying to continue growing. Here we go. It says, are we still in the process of moving forward with assisting families? So that kind of goes into some new areas we're trying to hit. Helaine, do you kind of want to talk a little bit about the family home we're looking
Yeah,
at?
we have a project right now working on. We have a piece of property that's connected to Maxwell Garden that we were able to right at the beginning of when we started Maxwell Garden, and it's actually available for, you could put 6 single-family homes on it, but the easiest thing to do is just to put one. So we talked with the county about creating a single-family demonstration home, which they agreed with the idea. So we are in the process of actually developing the plans for that. And then we have a vacant parking lot at the back of Maxwell Garden. And in the process, talking with the architect, they were like, well, you could fit microhomes back here. So we're looking at trying to put 9 microhomes and the vacant parking lot at the back of Maxwell Garden, which will require some public development, but it can happen, and it can happen actually fairly reasonably priced. So yes, we're definitely looking at the immediate family homes in the next year and a half, and then part of adding the 240 additional units, those are actually, we're hoping to be family units that we can find either existing that we can acquire or new construction that we can build.
Yes, I don't know if this was something that I had or we had explicitly mentioned in the tour or not, but our units are all, I think, 2-person occupancy, which some of them being single-person occupancy, correct? I think.
And they're all
So we
mostly
don't.
single room occupancies, and we have a few for 2, but most of our housing was built as single room occupancy, which was the primary way to serve chronically homeless persons over the years with using the housing first model. So.
Mm-hmm. So with that, there obviously aren't very many families here right now.
We just
So
have a few.
kind of what's reaching that group next, hopefully.
Yep.
This next question says, is there a limit on the time they can stay in the program? Babette, do you want to take that one?
We signed the 12-month leases, and they can stay as long as they like.
Yeah, there's no limit.
They can stay as long as they would like.
Are you still having, we are still having volunteers. We have kind of slowly incorporated them back more and more in the last couple months. We started with just 1 at a time. Now we're allowing for 2 volunteers at a time in the office, just in different locations. So we'll have a volunteer over here with around me, probably doing admin kind of work, and another volunteer in the marketplace, which is kind of next door if you haven't been to our property, kind of working with donations and things like that. So yes, we are, and again, with our holiday program coming up, we're actually going to need a lot of volunteers. So if you're interested in helping us serve meals, wrap presents, things like that, I'd love to have you get in contact with me. And then also we are trying to do more virtual opportunities too. Like I mentioned, the Champions program is kind of meant to help fulfill that need, but also I'm working individually with volunteers. If you have a certain skill or interest, then I kind of work with you to develop a project that you can do on your own time also. We also do a couple of
volunteering too, right? Virtual volunteering.
Exactly. And we have our at-home projects we also offer. So actually on our website, you can go under Get Involved. I think the page is Help from Home. And we have downloadable PDFs for a couple of projects you can do on your own. So you can create hygiene kits on your own and drop them off. You can create blankets on your own and drop them off as well. So those are a couple other things we offer. Just signed up to be a champion. Thank you. Do you need any kind of background check or mental health evaluation to be a resident or a volunteer? Babette, do you want to answer that on the resident end?
What's the question again? Sorry.
Do you need any kind of background check or mental health evaluation to be a resident?
No. Well, we do complete a background check in our non-program units, but it's we're very easy. It would have to be something major violence, but we look at it on an independent basis. It looks like we have a former resident in our question. He said,
yes, I don't know.
I used to live at Maxwell Terrace, a great place to live. It will help me get on my feet. I am now the director at the Christian Service Center. I think it's a great place to live and there's lots of benefits. I know who that is. Congratulations.
Me too.
So proud of you.
It's a wonderful.
I just saw you the other day.
Appreciate that. And then this is just, I think, similar question. Do you take people in that are refused to you, and do you check their credit report and ask for police records? So I think
we don't check credit reports. Credit's not an issue here.
It's part of the screening, but we don't. That's not something that we do.
We don't. Yeah, it's not.
This question says, what do you do for the holiday program? So I can give kind of what it used to be and what it's going to look like this year. We have always, as the story goes, I think some employees brought like 3 turkeys in one year and served it to the residents, and then that just kind of exploded to Insperity. I think there might be some people on here, thank you all, has been helping us over a decade, actually, serving meals. We do a buffet line, and the line literally wraps around the building. Residents come through, take their meals with them. And then for the programs, we do different holiday parties. So usually last year we did a seated meal where they were served. They got to choose chicken or turkey. We did some raffles and other games, maybe sing some carols. It's a really nice kind of community experience. This year we can't do things exactly the same. So for all of our programs, we're going to be delivering box meals. They're going to be hot box meals. Our lovely chef, who we kind of talked about in the tour, is going to be helping us make that meal. We're going to be dropping it at their doors, and we're trying to get creative to how we can still make it special for them. So we've talked about doing like a mobile photo booth and letting them take a quick picture while we drop off the food. We're going to try to have music and still make it special while still making those changes to be safe. So volunteer opportunities, like I said, would be helping us pack and actually deliver the meals, helping chefs cook the meal prior. We're going to have a holiday prep party sometime in December where we have volunteers come in and help us wrap the gifts and different things like that. So there's a few options there.
And this is going to be a really huge shift from what we're used to, because like Gabriella mentioned, our very first Thanksgiving, I think we had like 5 or 6 staff members at the time at Maxwell Terrace, and maybe 3 or 4 at Maxwell Garden, and each employee cooked a turkey at home. And we brought in the turkey, and I think we served like 100 people, just a few turkeys. And it was nice because the residents saw the community that we were really trying to build, and they started cooking dishes to go with it. And it turned into a really nice Thanksgiving. The very first Thanksgiving was just the residents cooking and the staff. And then over the years, it's grown to now we're only cooking for them, and we serve maybe 300 people on Thanksgiving. For Thanksgiving, not on that particular day, but for the Thanksgiving holiday. So this is going to be different. We're going to be taking it door to door. So imagine we have over 500 units that we're going to take a hot meal to each person in each unit. And some of the units have more than 1 person, so they'll have 2. So this is going to be very interesting. So we definitely need volunteers because we're going door to door to deliver a hot meal, socially distant.
Yes, masks, the whole 9. We're very excited, though. it'll be fun. And it's also very rewarding if I can plug that in also. It's a good time.
And we
Let me
currently have
see.
32 staff members. That was one of the questions.
Yes, we've grown a bit.
We have.
Make sure I've answered the questions. I think we chat. Oh, and then background check or mental health for volunteers. Well, definitely no mental health check. Background checks, we don't typically do. We only do those for more sensitive situations. So if you're going to be working a little bit more closely with the resident, like a one-on-one kind of scenario. Otherwise, no, we do not request that in order to be a volunteer. We do an orientation, though, meet with you, really try to kind of adjust the volunteer experience to your interests, your schedule, things like that. So we do have those kind of initial conversations in place of that. Let me see. How has COVID affected Pathlight Home and the clients? Is quarantining working for them? I'll let whoever wants to touch on that.
I don't think quarantine is working for anyone. It's really been challenging, but we've continued on, and it's been tough. But I think our team has been really working together. At the beginning, we sent our case management team home, so they worked with the clients from home, either virtually or by phone, because we thought it was safer for them as well as the residents to meet with them from home. So they were home during the closing from Governor DeSantis when he first shut down Orlando, Florida, the whole state. And then they came back. We also sent home our culinary team because we had to stop the culinary classes. But the rest of the team continued working. We shut our hours down. We were not 8 hours a day. Instead, we were doing like 6 hours a day, 5 to 6 hours a day. So the staff was going home early just so they can get some of the needs that they needed met for their families because the stores were closing early. And then when the governor put us back on phase 2, we all returned back to the office. So we've been here the whole entire time. We've still providing the same exact services. Our move-ins are done behind the glass versus more face-to-face, one-on-one. Our staff, our case managers are meeting with the clients in a distance location, whether it's in a conference room or in our Pathlight kitchen space that you saw. That's where they're having their activities now. So we've tried to incorporate different areas where it's safer for them to meet versus in a closed-in office space. We're wearing our masks because that's mandated by our mayor. And we've got lots of PPE going around. So we also gave out, I think, over 500 masks to our residents, and we still continue to give them out as they come in with no mask on. We have to give them one quickly. But yes, we gave out about 500 masks. We gave out toilet paper. We gave out paper towels. So we've been able to provide different things that they weren't able to get in the community, as well as try to keep them safe. So it's been an adjustment, but we've made it through.
You're doing it. And I think I always like to a little bit plug that we actually added services during all of this by opening the resource center, by opening the employment center, marketplace. These are all new things that happen right smack dab in the middle of all this craziness. So I think we've definitely been a little blessed over here to be able to keep going on and do a little bit more actually. And then, okay, this is a good question. It's a little deep one. How significant is the unmet housing needs of the homeless, and is it getting better or worse? Helaine, do you have some thoughts on that one?
Well, unmet housing needs of the homeless are significant if there's one homeless person left in this community. But we have way more than one person. The last count was around 2,500, I believe, persons, families, and singles unhoused in our community. So that's been pretty much steady the last probably 2 years. So we kind of peaked in our capacity, and we're all looking for ways to increase from affordable housing, and the county and the city are doing all kinds of looking at ways to increase affordable housing. The nonprofit end is also looking at ways to increase housing, and everybody is looking to try to bring more, any available federal dollars, state dollars that can assist with homelessness into our community to make sure that we don't miss any dollar that we can put towards the challenge. So I would say it's static in our community. Homelessness hasn't, but there's all the question about what's going to happen now with the eviction moratorium, and if homelessness is going to greatly rise because of that. There's a lot of unknowns, so we need to keep doing what we're doing and do more.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the goal. I don't know if it was really asked today, but a question I actually get a lot from volunteer rotations and previously when we're able to do these visits that I'll kind of just throw in is whether we have a waiting list or not. And I just think it kind of ties in is that yes, we do. And the way I always explain that is that unfortunately at this time, the need for housing is huge. So no matter what, and what I would say also is that we try not to have vacancies because why would we have a vacancy if there's still people on the streets? So we're always trying to continuously keep our units full because there's no need not to because the need is still there. And that's why, as we talked about, we're looking to get these new units. We're looking to build some houses, and that's why this is so important. And that's why, also, again, just another plug of thank you for you all joining us today and learning a little bit about this. And I hope that you're just as impassioned as we are about these issues. I think we could maybe do a couple more before we're going to possibly run out of time. Let's see.
There's one
It says, do we have any current employment opportunities?
Not at this time.
And Babette, do you want to say that?
We do not have any employment opportunities at this time.
I don't think your sound is working right now.
My sound's not working?
There it is, sorry.
We don't have any employment opportunities at this time, but if we do, they'll be posted on our website.
Exactly.
I saw there was a question about maintenance. I think this will probably be the last one.
Sure, yeah. How does maintenance work for someone with an issue?
So our residents, they have their own units, so they can call and they can put in a work order at the office during business hours, or if they have an emergency after hours, they can call our after hours emergency line. If it's considered an emergency, our after hours live person will contact our maintenance, who will then come out and address the issues. So we do have maintenance personnel at each location.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do all of our own property management and everything like that also. I'll actually have this one be the last question, and then we can kind of wrap up. It says, what are you doing for senior citizens or planning to do? Helaine, I know you kind of lightly touched on that. Do you want to share a little bit more about what the ideas might be for, because to kind of share a little information, most of our residents are in that age range.
Sure. We currently have a grant that we've put in for potential funding of a senior support specialist who would concentrate on seniors' needs, make sure that they would get isolation is one of the problems that happen with seniors, so would focus on that, especially with COVID. It's been an increased issue. They have food needs. They have different health needs that vary from some of the chronically homeless persons. So the support specialist would focus on those needs and assist them, transportation issues, lots of things that seniors face that are because of their age, it's more difficult for them to negotiate. So we're hoping to receive funding so we can put a new senior specialist in place. If that doesn't happen, then we'll look at trying to do some training with our existing staff to see if we can at least be more aware of identifying problems, although we're pretty good at identifying, so that we can at least try to focus on some of the issues that might be more common across our senior residents.
Awesome. So this says, this is not a question. I just want to thank Pathlight for being a blessing to so many people and need blessings to all of you. Just wanted to call that out because thank you. We do our best.
Thank you.
But I think that's all we kind of had time for. Thank you all so much. I can't say it enough. It means the world to know that you all care about this just as much as we do. We've missed being able to have you all here, and so kind of wanted to share what's going on, what we're doing, and kind of keep this little community we have alive. And so I did just put my email in the chat box over here if you wanted to save that for donations, volunteer time, any other kind of connections to organization. I'd be happy to talk to you. people have already been talking in this chat box about how they're going to help us with the holidays and things like that. So we're just thrilled. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
This website, and we hope that you have a great rest of your day.
Become a champion.
Become a champion. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.